Welcome to the Liberating River, where spiritual freedom meets soul-aligned wealth. I'm your guide, Wanda F. Nesbit. Let's break free, build boldly, and live fully together. So there are three ways that I believe that we can use to get our cultivation started, right? The first way, I think, and I've said it multiple times, you have to deal with your mind. You have to be mindful. Taking those moments, even 3 minutes, I know before I've said take 5 minutes, but even taking 3 minutes a day. And I realized even with saying 3 minutes, that's about how long it takes to brush your teeth properly, based on what dentists have said. Brushing your teeth is like 2.5 minutes. So I'm gonna say 3. I'm gonna round it up to 3 minutes. You can do that. Just take 3 minutes, 3 minutes of silence, and doing breath work a day. You know what it does? It clears the static. It allows you to focus. You're able to reset in those 3 minutes of time. And of course, if you go longer, you'll have a more in-depth reset. But 3 minutes is even good a day, just for you to, because it's easy for us to just pick up and go and just do. But if you take a moment for yourself after you wake up, after you do whatever your practices are, waking up, and then just taking 3 minutes before you start diving in, your focus will be better. I have also mentioned this before. You must take a moment before you make a decision. Again, it centers you. I understand that sometimes, we may feel there's not enough time to think before making a decision. I know that's what the common thought is, but I don't believe that. I think even if it's a mere 6 seconds or 10 seconds, in that split moment, you can center yourself. I really believe that. In that 6 to 10 second moment, or maybe 3 seconds, I don't know how much time you might have. I think it's the difference between life or death. But what I do know is I know you must take it. Even if it's just enough time to say, God, whether you say it audibly or you say it in your mind, just have that moment. That's a second. I don't even know if that's a full second. I've done that so many times that you don't have time to create a plan. I got that because it's that moment of moving quickly. But I have always taken that beat. Normally, I just say God, because I need him to show up. I need spirit to show up and to show me a way of escape. I have been in so many near misses, not because I was doing the driving to hit anybody or anybody was going to hit me, but I've seen it while driving. I remember, I won't forget it. There was this car where in my little town, we have 2 lanes going one way, 2 lanes going the other, and there's like grass in the middle, in the island. And the car veered from the opposite direction all the way across the lanes, across the little grass island and over into my side. It was far enough for me to see it, but the problem was there were other cars around. It wasn't as if I could brake. I couldn't just veer to the left and right because everybody is seeing this, because we see, I don't even know what happened, but the car started smoking. I can't say it was a fire, but I don't know what was going on. Thankfully, the car was damaged on its own. It didn't hit anybody. But in that split second, because it was right in front of me, all I could do was say, God. And then you just hear brakes going, and I'm looking in my rear view, I'm looking at my side view, I'm seeing all this chaos, but I had to still center myself because when you go on emotion, that's when panic kicks in and you won't be able to see your way of escape. And I was able to veer off to the I'll say like it's not the feeder lane, but it was on the side and just be able to pull and everybody was able to pull and nobody behind me was in an accident. Nobody hit and we had trucks and because y'all, as I said before, I live in Delaware, so we have a lot of trucks that go past. Nothing happened except for that car on its own. So I absolutely believe you have to take a beat. Just really quick. And again, that was a quick moment for me. I didn't have time to, as they say, deliberate over the how to move, what to do. But no, you don't have that. But just so that I didn't be paralyzed by the chaos going on, I had to recenter myself. And I always do it. It's a natural thing that just happens because I believe I have to think outside of my physical brain and tap into, okay, now how can I reach the thought that's not in panic mode? That's why I encourage you, build this strength up. Strengthen your intuition so you can make decisions, whether it's quickly or if you have time to make a decision. I think it's important. The second way I'll say is, again, journaling. Write it down. Write down every intuitive nudge you feel or you notice and track it. That's why I'm saying write it down. Track it. It doesn't have to be, sentence worthy or paragraphs, but just put it down so you can go back and revisit it. Over time, you're going to notice you're going to be building proof to yourself that you can trust yourself. I have done that. Years ago, I used to have ugobs or spiral notebooks. And in it, I would just write down whatever I could remember. Not, let me clarify this here, not to try and decipher it at that moment in time, but just so that I can have something to go back and look at to verify, oh, yeah, what I was feeling was true. Because I'll be honest, sometimes like, am I really feeling this? Is this really something intuitive? Is this really something? Why is my gut telling me this? Or, those kind of questions. But when I have it written down, I can revisit it like a month later or 2 months later or 3 months later. It doesn't matter when you do it. You go back and you're like, I was right. When I felt that uneasiness, I was right. When I felt that unction to go do something, I was right. And it was a great decision for me to do it. That's why I say journal. Because now it starts building proof inside of you that guess what? Your intuition has been right. And it's been sharing truth to you. And it's been leading you so that you can always wind up in the best place at the right time. Again, this is not about perfection. This is about just putting the information down so you can digest it fully later on. And thirdly, connect with nature. I'm bad with this. I really am. I'm an outside person, but then I'm not. But what I have realized is when I do connect with nature naturally, amazing things happen. So I challenge you, spend 15 minutes ish outside. Distraction free though. Distraction free. Don't distract yourself. Don't entertain yourself while you're out there in nature. Just be out in nature. I have noticed a lot of people are talking about this. that nature resets our nervous system, that um it it centers us, um and it allows us to develop in different ways. I have found that intriguing. To be honest, I have uh really been contemplating how I'm going to build maybe 15 minutes a day out in nature in my life. Um, because what I have noticed is when I am outside, the sun feels amazing. I feel energized. If I'm outside at night and I see the moon and I see the stars, it's calming. So I can understand why people are saying it's doing something to your nervous system, it's doing something to your inner man. So try it. If not, unless you're allergic to certain elements, try it. See how you feel when you stand outside and let the sun hit you. I'm not talking about sunbathing. I'm just talking about just being out in nature and just breathing the fresh air and letting the sun rays touch you, and or letting the moon just do what it do to your inner man. And I'm still trying to learn more about the moon and how it affects us, but I know it affects us. Just like I know the sun affects us. Who knows? You might find something that you or someplace you like to walk or be while the sun sends this good energy on you. Who knows? Um, you really might enjoy it. I did some research because, like I said, this is a whole piece dealing with the sun and the moon and the stars, a whole different things. But I found this article, and they were talking about this author, Daniel Goleman. He's the author of Focus, and in it, he explains that mindfulness sharpens attention, which allows us to notice subtle internal cues we usually miss. I'm going to say that again. Mindfulness sharpens our attention, which allows us to notice subtle internal cues we usually miss. I think that's pretty deep. Again, intuition, mindfulness, it's important for your life. You got to tap back into it. And if you have never tapped into it, you have to tap into it. All right, so we're going to take a quick moment to do like a little practice. Breathe. You know I'm going to say it. Breathe. Take in a deep breath and exhale on purpose. Take in a deep breath and exhale on purpose. What happens to your body? Did you notice? What happens when you take in your breath? How does your body feel? Notice the space between your thoughts. Between your thoughts is normally silence. But we do our best to be so entertained all the time. That's why it's important to take a breath. Sit in stillness. Because that's the soil where your intuition will grow. And of course, once your inner garden is tended to, listen, intuition doesn't just stay quiet in the background. It will constantly start whispering in your ear during your decisions, in your day-to-day living. It will now take its rightful place as a compass guiding your everyday life. Stay tuned. To be continued, coming next week. Thanks for flowing with us on the Liberating River. Subscribe, share, and come back next week for more wisdom, wealth, and alignment. Stay free, stay grounded, stay bold.